The Deep Space Monitoring Station on Earth's dark side of the moon was quiet, as it had been for the past 50 years. But today was different. Tom Miller, the night shift operator, noticed something unusual on his screens. The signal patterns were unlike anything he had seen before, and they were coming from multiple directions. "Sir, you need to see this," Tom called out to his supervisor, Robert Gray, who was doing his routine checks. The patterns on the screen pulsed with an unnatural rhythm that couldn't be explained by normal space phenomena. Robert's face turned serious as he studied the readings. Without saying a word, he picked up the red phone. A direct line to Earth Defense Command. "This is Lunar Station Alpha. Code Orange. I repeat, Code Orange." Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility unknown to most of humanity, Admiral James Walker was already awake when the call came through. He had been preparing for this moment his entire career. The massive underground command center buzzed with activity as personnel rushed to their stations. "Show me the signal patterns," Walker ordered, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. The main screen lit up with data streams from all 23 deep space monitoring stations. Each one showed the same thing. Unknown vessels approaching from different vectors. "They're testing our defenses," said Walker, more to himself than to his staff. "Just as we expected they would." Earth had been preparing for this day for decades. After finding the ruins of a destroyed civilization on Mars 30 years ago, humanity had secretly united under a single defense protocol. While the public went about their daily lives, massive military installations were built underground and underwater. Orbital defense platforms were disguised as communication satellites, and weapon systems beyond most people's imagination were developed and deployed in absolute secrecy. "Status of the defense grid?" Walker asked, walking to the central command table. "All systems operational, sir," replied Lieutenant Anna White, her fingers moving quickly across her control panel. "Shield generators are at full capacity, and all orbital platforms report ready." Walker nodded, watching as the holographic display showed Earth's real defensive capabilities. Layer upon layer of protective measures surrounded the planet, most of them invisible to the naked eye. Quantum radar arrays, gravity manipulation fields, and automated defense systems that could target and eliminate threats faster than any human operator. "They're following the exact pattern we predicted," said Dr. Mark Thompson, the head of alien psychology studies. "Testing our outer sensors, looking for blind spots." He pointed to several blips on the display. "These scout ships are trying to be subtle, but we can track their every move." Walker allowed himself a small smile. For years, humanity had leaked false information about Earth's defensive capabilities. The aliens thought they were approaching a relatively primitive world, one that had barely reached its moon. They had no idea that humans had already reversed engineered technology from the Mars ruins and improved upon it. "Sir," called out Lieutenant White, "Scout Ship Alpha 7 is approaching the outer defense perimeter. Should we let them think they're undetected?" Walker considered for a moment. "No," he decided. "Let's show them we see them. Activate targeting radar on Platform 12, but don't engage. Let's see how they react." The effect was immediate. The scout ship's energy signature changed as it realized it had been detected. Its attempts to cloak itself became more aggressive, but Earth's quantum radar could see through any known form of stealth technology. "Message from the President, sir," announced Communications Officer Bill Turner. "She's authorized Defense Protocol Echo 3. Walker straightened his uniform. Echo 3 was the measured response protocol, showing enough of their capabilities to make the aliens think twice, but not enough to reveal their true strength. "Very well," he said. "Enable the atmospheric defense grid. Power up orbital platforms 1 through 5. Let's show our visitors that we're not as helpless as they think." As the commands were relayed, hidden installations across Earth hummed to life. In orbit, what appeared to be normal satellites transformed, revealing weapon systems that had been hidden in plain sight for years. "Sir," said Tom Miller's voice from the lunar station, "the scout ships are changing course. They appear to be retreating to report back to their main fleet. Good, Walker replied. Let them report what they've seen. It's time the galaxy learned that humanity is not prey to be hunted. We're ready, and we've been ready for a long time. The first move in this cosmic chess game had been played. Now they would wait for the aliens' response, knowing that humanity held far more cards than their opponents realized. The real question wasn't whether Earth could defend itself. It was how shocked the aliens would be when they discovered just how prepared humanity really was. 3 days after the initial detection, the aliens made their first bold move. A single ship, smaller than the previous scout vessels, dove straight toward Earth's atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean. They clearly thought they had found a gap in Earth's defenses. They were wrong. Hostile vessel entering Sector 7. Lieutenant White announced in the underground command center. Speed suggests it's attempting a rapid atmospheric insertion. Admiral Walker watched the tactical display with calm interest. Let them get a little closer, he ordered. Then show them what we can do. The alien ship streaked through space, its hull glowing slightly from some kind of advanced stealth field. If Earth had been using regular radar, they might have missed it. But the quantum detection grid saw everything. Target is passing the outer defense line, reported Captain John Reed from his weapons station. Permission to initiate capture protocol. Walker nodded. Execute Plan Delta 4. Suddenly, 4 seemingly harmless weather satellites changed position. Before the alien ship could react, they generated an invisible gravity net, catching the vessel like a fish in a trap. The ship's engines flared as it tried to break free, but Earth's technology was far beyond what they had expected. Gravity containment field at full power, Captain Reed confirmed. The ship is secure. Begin transport to Facility Beta, Walker ordered. Facility Beta was a heavily secured installation built inside a mountain in Alaska, specifically designed to handle alien craft and their occupants. Inside the alien vessel, its pilot was discovering that all their advanced systems were useless against Earth's countermeasures. The ship was slowly pulled down through the atmosphere, protected by Earth's own shields to prevent it from burning up. Sir, Lieutenant White called out, we're receiving a transmission from the captured vessel. They're trying to send a distress signal to their fleet. Let them, Walker said with a slight smile. In fact, make sure their transmission gets through. I want their leaders to see exactly what happens when they underestimate us. The alien ship landed inside Facility Beta's massive hangar. Teams of scientists and soldiers, who had trained for years for this moment, moved in with practiced efficiency. They wore specialized suits that protected against any known form of alien biological or technological threat. When they opened the ship's hull using tools reverse-engineered from the Mars ruins, they found a single alien pilot. The creature was humanoid, but clearly not human, with gray-blue skin and large, dark eyes. It seemed shocked to see humans handling advanced technology with such expertise. Welcome to Earth, said Dr. Lisa Brown, the lead xenobiologist, through a universal translator that had been developed years ago. We've been expecting you. The alien's response was translated back, impossible. Your species should not have this level of technology. Our scans showed exactly what we wanted them to show. Dr. Brown finished. We've known about your kind for decades. The ruins on Mars told us everything we needed to know. In the command center, Admiral Walker prepared to send a message to the alien fleet that was hiding just beyond Saturn's orbit. The communication systems they used were far more advanced than what Earth normally showed to the outside world. This is Admiral James Walker of the United Earth Defense Force. He began, his words being transmitted in both human and alien languages. Your scout ship is now in our custody. Its pilot is unharmed, but will remain our guest. Consider this a demonstration of our capabilities and a warning. Earth is not the primitive world you believe it to be. We are not your prey. The response came an hour later. The alien fleet moved closer, taking up positions near Jupiter. They had not expected resistance, let alone such advanced technology. Their message was brief but clear. Release our pilot, or we will take action. Walker's reply was equally short. Come and try. In the holding cell, the alien pilot watched in disbelief as humans casually operated technology that should have been centuries beyond their reach. Through the facility's windows, it could see dozens of captured alien ships from previous failed incursion attempts, each one a testament to humanity's hidden strength. The real battle was about to begin, and humanity was more than ready for it. The United Earth Defense Council gathered in their underground chamber, 500 feet beneath the old United Nations building in New York. 20 of humanity's top military and scientific leaders sat around a massive table, watching as Admiral Walker presented their options. The alien fleet has moved past Jupiter's orbit, Walker said, pointing to the holographic display floating above the table. They have over 300 ships, but that's exactly what we predicted they would bring. The president of the United Earth Alliance, Maria Ross, stood up. Her dark hair was streaked with gray, but her eyes showed the sharp intelligence that had helped unite Earth's nations against the alien threat. What do you suggest, Admiral? We can't let them think their show of force will make us back down. I propose we give them a demonstration, Walker replied. Something they can't ignore or misunderstand. Dr. Thompson, who had been studying the captured alien pilots' reactions, nodded in agreement. Their species responds well to displays of power. They're like predators. They only respect strength. What kind of demonstration did you have in mind? Asked General Mike Harris, his voice deep and thoughtful. Walker touched the holographic controls, and the image changed to show Jupiter's smallest moon, barely more than a large asteroid. We used the solar forge. The room went quiet. The solar forge was humanity's most powerful weapon, hidden inside Mercury's orbit, drawing power directly from the sun. It had never been used before, save for a moment exactly like this. The energy signature would be impossible to hide, said Dr. Brown, who had joined the meeting after finishing her analysis of the alien pilot. They'll see exactly what we're capable of. That's the point, Walker said firmly. We show them that we could have destroyed their fleet at any time, but we chose not to. It's not just about power. It's about showing them we have the restraint to use it wisely. President Ross walked around the table slowly, thinking. The public will notice. We'll have to tell them something. The time for complete secrecy is over, Walker agreed. But we can control how the truth comes out. The people of Earth deserve to know that we're ready to defend them. After 2 hours of debate, the Council reached their decision. President Ross gave the final order. Do it. Show them who they're dealing with. Back in the command center, Walker coordinated with the Solar Forge's control team. The massive station, disguised as a solar research facility, powered up its main systems. Solar Forge reports ready, Lieutenant White announced. Target is locked. Walker opened a channel to the alien fleet. Attention unknown vessels. This is Admiral Walker of Earth. We are about to conduct a weapons test. We suggest you watch carefully. The Solar Forge fired. A beam of concentrated solar plasma, guided by magnetic fields humanity had perfected decades ago, struck Jupiter's smallest moon. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the entire moon began to glow red. In the command center, everyone watched in silence as the moon's surface bubbled like boiling water. Then, in a flash brighter than Jupiter itself, the moon exploded. Where it had been, nothing remained but scattered debris and a cloud of superheated gas. Message sent to all known alien frequencies, reported Communications Officer Turner. Video feed of the demonstration included. Walker nodded, then spoke again to the alien fleet. That was one of our smaller weapons, powered at 10% capacity. We have dozens more like it. This is not a threat. It's a warning. Earth is not yours to take. We are not primitive. We are not helpless. And we are not afraid. The alien fleet's response was immediate. Several ships began moving backward, retreating to safer distances. Their next transmission showed the first signs of uncertainty. Your weapons are Impressive. Perhaps negotiations would be wise. We've been ready to negotiate since the day we found your ruins on Mars, Walker replied. But we negotiate as equals, not as prey. You have 1 hour to send a diplomatic vessel. Any aggressive moves will be met with immediate response. Earth. Out. As the transmission ended, President Ross's voice came through on a private channel. Well done, Admiral. Let's hope they're smart enough to take the hint. Walker looked at the tactical display, watching the alien ships carefully maintain their new position. They're predators, Madam President. And predators only understand one thing, that some prey bites back. Supreme Commander Rax stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the replay of Earth's demonstration for the 10th time. The destruction of Jupiter's moon played out before him on the main screen, and each viewing made him angrier. His gray-blue skin had turned almost purple with rage. Impossible, he growled, his clawed hand crushing the armrest of his command chair. They're lying. No primitive species could advance this quickly. His science officer, standing nervously nearby, cleared his throat. Sir, our scans confirm it. The weapon's power signature was real. They could have destroyed our entire fleet with that kind of energy output. Rax turned to his tactical display, showing the positions of his 300 warships. They had moved back to a safer distance after Earth's demonstration, but he refused to retreat completely. His species had conquered 17 worlds before this, and none had ever resisted successfully. They are still just humans, Rax declared. They may have stolen some advanced technology, but they can't possibly know how to use it all properly. Our numbers will overwhelm them. Back on Earth, Admiral Walker watched the alien fleet's movements through the quantum sensor network. He stood in the command center, drinking his 3rd cup of coffee of the day. Sir, Lieutenant White called out, the alien flagship is broadcasting to their entire fleet. Our translation systems are intercepting it. Walker nodded. Let's hear what they're saying. The alien commander's voice filled the room, automatically translated. Warriors of the Great Fleet, do not be fooled by human trickery. They show us one weapon and think we will run away like cowards. We are the greatest military force in this sector of the galaxy. We will show them what real power looks like. Well, Walker said dryly, I guess they didn't get the message. He pressed a button on his command console, and hidden installations across Earth began powering up. Massive shield generators, buried beneath the oceans and mountains, hummed to life. In orbit, hundreds of satellites revealed their true nature as defensive platforms. All planetary defense systems report ready, Captain Reed announced. Shield grid is at full power. Dr. Brown rushed into the command center, holding a tablet. Admiral, you need to see this. We've finished analyzing their fleet composition from the quantum scans. They're loading some kind of biological weapon into their launch tubes. Walker's expression hardened. They think we're not prepared for that kind of attack. Time to prove them wrong again. He opened a channel to all Earth defense stations. This is Admiral Walker. Initiate Protocol Omega. Authorization code. Walker 7 Delta 9. Around the planet, massive hidden doors opened in remote areas, revealing rows of defense satellites ready for launch. These weren't the simple weapons the aliens had seen before. These were Earth's real defensive tools, developed from both human innovation and reversed engineered alien technology. In space, Supreme Commander Rax watched with satisfaction as his fleet moved into attack formation. Begin the assault, he ordered. Target their major population centers. Show them what happens to species that dare to resist us. The alien fleet launched their first wave of biological weapons, contained in sleek missiles designed to penetrate planetary defenses. They expected to see panic, to see Earth scrambling to respond. Instead, Earth's shield grid activated. The entire planet was suddenly surrounded by a shimmering, multi-layered energy barrier. The alien missiles hit the shield and simply disappeared, absorbed into the energy field. Impossible, Rax shouted, slamming his fist on his command console. Their shield technology. It's more advanced than ours. In the Earth Command Center, Walker allowed himself a small smile. Send them our response, he ordered. All around Earth's orbit, the hidden defense platforms revealed themselves. There weren't dozens of them, as the aliens had assumed. There were thousands. Message from their flagship, Lieutenant White reported. They're asking how this is possible. Walker took a moment before responding to the alien commander. Did you really think we spent the last 30 years since finding your ruins on Mars just sitting around? We learned from your mistakes. We prepared. We improved upon every piece of technology we found. And now, he paused for effect. Now you get to see exactly what humanity can do when we know we're being hunted. The real battle was about to begin, and Earth was ready to unveil even more surprises. The first wave of alien ships charged toward Earth's defense grid. 36 warships, their weapons glowing with deadly energy, streaked through space like angry hornets. Supreme Commander Rax watched from his flagship, certain that sheer numbers would overwhelm any defense the humans had prepared. He was wrong. Enemy ships entering weapons range, Captain Reed announced in Earth's command center. All defense platforms report ready. Admiral Walker stood calmly, watching the tactical display. Let them get a little closer, he said. Let's show them what humanity's been working on for the past 30 years. The alien ships opened fire, launching a barrage of plasma torpedoes at Earth's shield grid. They expected the shields to weaken, to show some sign of strain. Instead, the torpedoes disappeared into the energy field, their power absorbed and redirected to strengthen the very shields they were trying to destroy. Shield grid holding at 100%, Lieutenant White reported. Power levels actually increasing from the absorbed energy. Walker nodded. Activate the quantum torpedoes. Target their engines only. Let's give them a chance to retreat. From Earth's orbital platforms, new weapons unlike anything the aliens had seen before launched into space. The quantum torpedoes didn't travel in straight lines like normal weapons. They phased in and out of normal space, impossible to track or dodge. On his flagship, Rax watched in horror as the first wave of his ships suddenly lost power, their engines destroyed with surgical precision. How? He demanded. How are they doing this? The second wave of alien ships moved in, trying a different approach. They activated their gravity weapons, attempting to tear apart Earth's satellites and defense platforms. But humanity had learned about these weapons from the Mars ruins and had prepared accordingly. Gravity manipulation detected, Dr. Brown reported from her science station. Activating countermeasures. Earth's platforms released clouds of specially designed nanobots, another secret weapon that had been waiting for this moment. The microscopic machines created localized gravity fields of their own, turning the aliens' attack back on them. Several enemy ships found themselves caught in their own gravity wells, their hulls crumpling under the pressure. Launch the AI drones, Walker ordered, revealing another layer of Earth's defense. From hidden bases on the moon, thousands of small, unmanned fighters emerged. These weren't simple remote-controlled vehicles. They were powered by quantum computers and advanced artificial intelligence, able to think and react faster than any living pilot. The alien fleet's formation broke as the AI drones swarmed through their ranks. The drones were too small to show up on their standard sensors, and too smart to be caught by automated defenses. One by one, alien ships found their weapons disabled and their shields failing. Sir, Lieutenant White called out. They're trying to regroup near Mars orbit. Walker watched as the alien fleet retreated, already reduced to less than 2/3 of its original size, without Earth firing a single planet-destroying shot. Open a channel to their commander. Supreme Commander Rax's angry face appeared on the main screen. This is impossible, he shouted. You're using weapons that shouldn't exist. No, Walker replied calmly. We're using weapons we developed while you thought we were helpless. This is your final warning. Retreat, or we stop being careful about where we aim. To demonstrate his point, Walker nodded to Captain Reed. A single quantum torpedo launched from an Earth platform, passing straight through the shields of Rax's flagship as if they didn't exist. It detonated harmlessly a few meters from the bridge window, a clear demonstration that Earth could have destroyed their command ship at any time. "Your weapons," Rax said, his voice shaking with rage and fear, "they ignore our shields completely." "Quantum phase technology," Walker explained. "Just one of many things we developed while waiting for you to arrive. We found the warnings in the Mars ruins, you see. We knew someone would come eventually, thinking Earth would be easy prey. So we prepared. We adapted. We improved upon every piece of technology we found." The battle wasn't over, but its outcome was already clear. Humanity wasn't fighting for survival. They were teaching the galaxy a lesson about underestimating Earth's capabilities, one disabled alien ship at a time. Supreme Commander Rax paced on his flagship's bridge, watching as more of his fleet's ships went dark. The humans weren't just defeating them. They were doing it with such ease that it felt like a training exercise. His mighty armada, which had conquered so many worlds before, was being taken apart piece by piece. "Status report," he demanded. His tactical officer's voice shook as he responded. "We've lost contact with 40% of the fleet. Another 30% report major damage. The humans' weapons, they're not like anything we've ever seen." On Earth, Admiral Walker prepared to reveal humanity's final surprise. He turned to Dr. Brown, who had been monitoring the readouts from their most advanced system. "Is the consciousness transfer network ready?" "Yes, sir," she replied. "All pilots report ready in their transfer chambers." This was humanity's greatest achievement. Technology that allowed human consciousness to be temporarily transferred into advanced combat mechs. It meant they could fight without risking a single human life, using machines that could withstand forces that would kill any living pilot. "Begin the transfer," Walker ordered. "Launch all mechs units." Deep underground, in bases across Earth, hundreds of pilots lay in special chambers, their minds about to be linked to something the aliens couldn't possibly expect. The massive hangar doors on the far side of the moon opened, revealing rows of giant mechanical warriors, each one a perfect blend of human ingenuity and reversed-engineered alien technology. In space, Supreme Commander Rax was trying to reorganize his remaining ships when new alerts blared across his bridge. Unknown contacts launching from the moon's far side. His sensor officer shouted, They're massive." The combat mechs rocketed into space, each one 3 times the size of a normal fighter. They moved with impossible grace, combining human creativity and instinct with mechanical precision. Inside each one was the consciousness of a trained pilot, feeling and moving as if the mech was their own body. "What are those things?" Rex demanded, watching as the giant machines tore through his fleet's defenses like they weren't even there. The mechs deployed weapons that adapted to each target they faced. Against shields, they used phase-shifting blades that simply passed through energy barriers. Against armored hulls, they used concentrated gravity beams that crushed sections of the ships without damaging vital systems or crew areas. "Sir," Lieutenant White reported in the Earth Command Center, "alien fleet cohesion is breaking down. They're beginning to retreat in multiple directions." Walker nodded. This was exactly what they had trained for. Have the mech units focus on disabling their engines. Don't let any ships escape until we've delivered our final message. The combat mechs moved with perfect coordination, herding the alien ships into a contained area. Their pilots, safe in their transfer chambers on Earth, fought without fear of death or injury. If a mech was destroyed, the pilot simply woke up in their chamber, ready to transfer to a backup unit. Supreme Commander Rax watched in growing despair as his mighty fleet was systematically disabled and contained. These humans hadn't just prepared for battle, they had revolutionized warfare itself. "This is Admiral Walker to all alien vessels," Walker's voice broadcast across all frequencies. "Your ships are disabled. Your weapons are useless. And now you understand why we've been so confident. We didn't just find your technology. We made it better. We didn't just prepare for war. We changed the very nature of combat." Through the flagship's windows, Rax could see the combat mechs up close now. They moved like living things, but with power no organic being could match. His own weapons passed harmlessly through them, as if fighting ghosts. "How?" he finally asked, his voice broadcast back to Earth. "How did you advance so far without us knowing?" Walker's response was simple, "Because we knew you were coming." The ruins on Mars weren't just a warning. They were a gift. Everything we needed to survive, hidden in plain sight. We spent 30 years preparing for this exact moment, and you never even suspected. The battle was effectively over. Humanity hadn't just won. They had changed the balance of power in the galaxy forever. And they had done it without losing a single human life. 1 week after the battle, Admiral Walker stood in the United Earth Defense Council chamber, looking at the holographic display of the captured alien fleet. Almost 300 ships floated powerless in Earth orbit, their crews being treated well aboard Earth's space stations. The last resistant ships surrendered this morning, Walker reported to the assembled council members and President Ross. No human casualties. Total alien casualties. 0. This is exactly the outcome we planned for 30 years ago. President Ross smiled. And the message has been sent. Yes, Madam President. Our quantum communication network is broadcasting across all known alien frequencies. The galaxy now knows what happened here. In space, Supreme Commander Rax sat in a comfortable but secure room aboard Earth's largest space station. He was watching a replay of Earth's message to the galaxy, still trying to understand how completely he had misjudged this species. The message played on screens across thousands of worlds. This is Earth's final warning to all spacefaring species. We are not primitive. We are not helpless. And we are not your prey. Today, we defeated one of the largest invasion fleets in the galaxy without losing a single life, human or alien. This was not luck. This was not desperation. This was 30 years of careful planning and preparation. In the council chamber, Dr. Brown presented the latest data. The alien databases we've accessed confirm it. News of our victory is spreading rapidly. 3 other aggressive species have already recalled their expansion fleets. Earth is being reclassified in their records from potential conquest to do not approach. Walker nodded. And the friendly species. They're reaching out diplomatically, President Ross answered. 7 peaceful civilizations have already requested trade negotiations. They're particularly interested in our defensive technology. The holographic display changed to show Earth's new defense network. The quantum torpedoes, AI drones, and combat mechs were now openly displayed in orbit, a clear reminder to any watching eyes that Earth was ready for any threat. "What about our alien guests?" asked General Harris, looking at the data about the captured fleet. "Most of them have requested asylum," Dr. Brown replied. "They're amazed by our technology, especially the consciousness transfer system. Many want to learn from us, rather than fight us." In his room on the space station, Rax watched as Earth vessels began carefully towing his ships to designated repair facilities. The humans weren't destroying the captured fleet. They were fixing it, improving it, showing a level of technological skill that put his own civilization to shame. "Commander Rax," a voice called. He turned to see Admiral Walker entering the room. "Admiral," Rax replied, standing. In the past week, he had learned respect for these humans who had defeated him so thoroughly yet treated him with such dignity. "Your ships will be repaired and returned to your people," Walker said. "With some modifications, of course. The weapons will be disabled, but we're upgrading your medical facilities, life support, and research capabilities." Rax blinked in surprise. "You're helping us." "Earth doesn't want enemies, Commander. We never did. We just wanted to make sure everyone understood that we wouldn't be victims." Back in the council chamber, President Ross addressed the assembled leaders. Phase 1 of the Earth Defense Initiative is complete. We've proven that humanity can protect itself. Now comes Phase 2, leading by example. The holographic display showed new images, shipyards being constructed in orbit, research facilities dedicated to peaceful technology, and training centers where humans would teach other species about their advances. We're not just surviving anymore, Walker added. We're showing the galaxy a better way forward. Our technology, our innovations, they can help lift up peaceful civilizations while deterring aggressive ones. In the following months, Earth began its careful expansion into space. Not as conquerors, not as victims, but as equals. The consciousness transfer technology was adapted for peaceful exploration, allowing humans to experience distant worlds safely. The AI drones were reprogrammed for search and rescue missions. The quantum torpedoes were converted into tools for faster-than-light communication. Humanity had done more than win a battle. They had changed the rules of the game. And as Earth's influence spread across the stars, one thing became clear to every watching species. The age of hunting humanity was over. The age of learning from humanity had begun.